This is Blueprint Explosive Exclusive, and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, after oil companies hiked the prices of domestic LPG cylinders, the government has slashed the LPG cylinder quota. Under Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala scheme, Centre has reduced the number of subsidized cooking gas cylinders for the beneficiaries of Ujjwala scheme from 9 to 4 LPG refills per year. The scheme was launched in May 2016 and beneficiaries were earlier entitled to 12 subsidized LPG cylinders per year. The quota was reduced to 9 in August last year and now it has been cut further to 4. This is primarily due to the ongoing West Asia crisis. And viewers, here's how the centre is defending the increase. Remember, there are over 10.58 crore Ujjwala connection beneficiaries, and for each cylinder, the government is incurring a loss of about 700 rupees for non-Ujjwala users. So, according to the government, the average consumption of Ujjwala households is 4 cylinders per year. So technically, according to the government, it's not really going to impact the Ujjwala beneficiaries quite a lot because their average consumption is around 4 cylinders per year. And they are going to continue with the subsidy for 4 cylinders. Now, 300 rupee subsidy on 4 refills for 10.58 crore beneficiaries, government says, is going to continue. It's not going to be taken away. Now, Indian cooking gas prices are among the lowest in the world. If you compare Indian prices with other parts of the world also impacting by West Asia war, then you will understand how big the difference really is. According to the government, the oil marketing companies are losing around 700 rupees on every 14.2 kg LPG refill because there is under recovery, because there are losses. That is the reason why this decision has been taken. Government is of the view that Ujjwala beneficiaries will continue to receive 60% discount, and Ujjwala refill price for the first 4 cylinders will remain at 642 rupees per cylinder. This is what the government has said. Now, as the LPG subsidy debate heats up, let's also give you a comparison of LPG prices in India and in other parts of the world. Even after recent changes, India's Ujjwala beneficiaries pay just 642 rupees per cylinder, while the unsubsidized rate stands at 942 rupees. Compare that with Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, the neighboring countries, where LPG prices are significantly higher. In countries like the United States of America, Australia and Canada, the cost is even steeper. They have seen a steep increase in prices because of the West Asia crisis and the uncertainty around the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the numbers that you can see on your screens right now, they show that India remains among the most affordable LPG markets in the world. For consumers, it still remains affordable buying LPG despite the ongoing West Asia crisis. Now, BJP has again defended the subsidy cut linking the move to West Asia crisis, while the opposition has renewed the inflation man Modi attack on the Prime Minister, saying this is PM's gift to poor women. Listen in.
पूरे विश्व में खाड़ी के युद्ध के कारण एक संकट है, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आज भी भारत में कोई संकट नहीं है पेट्रोल, डीजल, एलपीजी का। वहां 25% रेट बढ़ा है भारत के अलावा अन्य देशों में, यहां तो 5-4 रुपए ही बढ़ा है।
उज्ज्वला सिलेंडर जो मैं समझता हूँ कि किसी को मिल भी नहीं पा रहा था, वादे तो बहुत बड़े बड़े कर रहे थे, आज उसमें भी इन्होंने खुद से इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है कि अब साल में सिर्फ 4 सिलेंडर जो है उज्ज्वला के, जिन लोगों को इन्होंने उज्ज्वला सिलेंडर दिया था वो बेचारे भरवा कहाँ पा रहे हैं। मैं समझता हूँ ये सरकार सिर्फ लोगों को बहकाने और छल करने का काम करती है।
They were taking pride in it. I don't know why they have done that. The government should do something with the people. The government is there to support people, particularly poor people. But this government doesn't care about it.
When you look at the numerous promises that have been made over the last dozen years, all we have are big announcements, grand statements and headlines, but the sorry reality is that none of those headlines actually translate into anything that is meaningfully transforming the lives of the people.
Meanwhile, viewers, government sources are suggesting that extra cylinders were being diverted for commercial use, and that is why this decision has been taken. Let's tell you what we have learned from sources on quota reduction. According to government sources, the average number of Ujjwala refills is 4. This is what the Ujjwala beneficiaries consume on an annual basis. This move is aimed at curbing cylinder diversion. Sources have told Times Now that some unscrupulous elements were diverting the refills for commercial use. Extra refills were being diverted for commercial use, and that is the reason why this decision has been taken. That is the reason why the quota has been capped at 4 to essentially also help check diversion. Let's now go across to our guests who are joining us on this discussion. We have Kishore Subramanian, who is a financial expert. Shubhrasta, who is founder, The Churn, is live with us. Also joining us is Chirag Sethi, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. In a short while from now, Akashdeep Muni, political analyst, is going to be joining us as well. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us here on Times Now. Shubhrasta, to you first. Now, you know, the argument from the opposition is that even if the requirement is 4 per household, why reduce the quota? This is additional burden on the poor families specifically who are beneficiaries of Ujjwala scheme. Your reaction? Okay, I think there's some problem with the connection. We will try and go across to Shubhrasta in just a bit. But if I could take that question across to Mr. Kishore Subramanian, how will you like to respond to what the opposition is talking about right now?
First of all, opposition being the opposition for the sake of it is not good for any democracy. Opposition has a role to play, and that role is supposed to be criticize where it is due and criticize correctly. Now, understand that the war that's happening in West Asia has nothing to do with India. India did not start it. We were not the perpetrators. We are not escalating. We have not closed the Strait of Hormuz. Whether it was Congress, whether it was Aam Aadmi Party, whether it was any government, forget the name, government agnostic, the rates would have gone up. And by the way, when the Brent crude was hovering at between $72 to $85, we did not reduce the petrol price. And that's the reason Indian petrol or fuel prices at the retail level has only gone from 5 to 8%. While globally, it's gone anywhere between 12.5% to 31%. So you have to see the reality in terms of the global situation, the Brent crude price, and the aspect of its continuous elongation in terms of the war. Prior to that, we had this oil Trump tariff, which also pushed us to buy oil from Russia. Right. So it's a multi-geopolitical issue that's happening. But believe me, you from 2020 to 2026, 6 years, we have managed 3 crises, 2 wars, 1 massive 1.5-year COVID crisis. We have almost come out unscathed despite helping the globe with vaccines. Last one point before I close the show. Remember one thing, that it is our cumulative effort to save energy at this point of time. And if the war continues for the next 3 months, be ready for worse decisions in terms of price rise. Just saying that common man, Aam Aadmi doesn't help here.
Okay. Akashdeep Muni, how will you like to respond? Because this is what even the center is trying to suggest, that if you look at the increase in price here in India and compare it to other parts of the world, other countries also equally impacted by the West Asia crisis, the increase is much lower.
Heena ji, simple and straight. I'll quote the Honorable Petroleum Minister, who said that Iran-US war won't affect the common man of this country. Even he said that the Honorable Prime Minister said to the cabinet that Iran war should not affect the common man. These are his quotes, these are not mine. And after that also, when it is, we can see that it is affecting, you increase the prices of domestic LPG. I'm not talking about commercial LPG, domestic LPG. 2 times. The total price increase is 89. You bring down the Ujjwala Yojana, in which you are providing what? You are providing 300 rupees of subsidy. From the 300 rupees of subsidy, that also you have reduced the number of gas
But the government's argument, Mr. Akashdeep Muni, is that the requirement is around 4 cylinders per year for Ujjwala beneficiaries. And that's the reason why this has been done. Second argument is that the idea is to also reduce diversion of cylinders under the scheme. That's also happening to plug leakage.
See, simple and straight. Any family will need at least 1 cylinder per month. There are 12 months. You cannot do with 4 cylinders.
No, but
you should.
how will you like
and
to
if
respond?
you are saying that
how will
there
you
are
like
leakages,
to respond to what
then you
Mr.
should
Akashdeep
stop the
Muni said?
leakages, not lessen it.
Subhrashta, can you hear me?
Directed at me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, go ahead. How will you like to respond to what Mr. Akashdeep Muni is saying? According to him, every household requires at least 1 cylinder, and this quota reduction is not right. It's going to impact the poor families.
Heena, first of all, we need to accept that there is a crisis at hand, and this is a crisis that is being addressed by the Honorable Prime Minister himself. Even if we were to ignore the words of the minister concerned today, we must remember that the Honorable Prime Minister already addressed the nation on this to say that coming days are going to be tough and, appealed for a lot of measures to be taken. So what Akashdeep Muniji is trying to, critique the government on is as if it's business as usual. It's not business as usual. There is a possibility that the war may break out yet again. So in that situation, if the government is trying to firefight its way through, I think it's not the time to discuss larger economic agendas right now, but to basically discuss how we tide over this conflict, this crisis that has taken over our economy. I am no financial expert, so I will not spar with individuals on what can the government do immediately at this moment, and because what I'm hearing from the opposition is the government should not do this. What I'm not hearing is what should the government do.
Okay. Chirag Sethi, now it is a desperate time, and they say desperate times call for desperate measures. Now, there is a situation evolving in West Asia. We do not know for how long that crisis is going to continue. Why do you think there is politics happening on this particular issue? Because every country that imports oil specifically is impacted. India is not isolated.
Thank you, Heena, for inviting me to the show. First of all, I don't get this. Why are we being compared to an economy which is 33 times more than us? Our GDP per capita is about $2,500, whereas GDP per capita for somebody staying in US is about $90,000.
No, but it's not just a comparison with America.
Compare?
It's a comparison with all the countries impacted by West Asia crisis right now. Those who are dependent on Strait of Hormuz for oil and gas.
Let me complete. Also, now we talk about the consumption. The average urban consumption is between 7 to 10 cylinders, where they have the Ujjwala is about 4.85. So they have reduced it to 4. That's okay. But why hasn't the government reduced the GST on cylinders? The government still wants to make money. The 5% on GST in Delhi is about 45 rupees. You can just cut down on the GST. Even if it's a crisis, even if there is a war, even if everything is happening, the government still wants its cut.
Okay.
The brunt should come on to the people. The people should pay more money. The people should pay on what do you call the petrol, the diesel, and now even the LPG.
So
but the
you've
government
actually
will not
raised
cut
2
down
points,
his
Chirag
5%.
Sethi. You've raised 2 points. One, you have acknowledged the fact that the consumption of Ujjwala beneficiaries is around 4 per year. So you are okay with that argument, I believe, of the government. Second point that you've made is about reducing GST. Mr. Kishore Subramaniam, can the government do that instead to provide more relief to the Aam Aadmi? Then I'll go across to Subhrashta.
Yeah, okay. So the first point I would like to say is that it's not about comparing the per capita income. We are comparing the rise in the price in India versus any other country. Despite the fact that the per capita income gives you the purchasing power, because dollar per se is 100x more than the rupee or 95x more than the rupee. So that's a different proposition. But under the current crisis situation, point to point absolute numbers, you see 5 to 8% versus a 12 to 30%. Point number one. Point number two, understand that reducing GST is a very easy solution. Reduce GST, reduce excise duty, reduce everything. But when the fiscal deficit is at 15 lakh crore and a growing economy which is at a nominal growth of 11.5 to 12%, if you add the 6.5, 7% with a 4.5% inflation, you need to understand the fiscal deficit will go up. At the end of the day, when the budget ends up, the annual budget, they will again say, no, you couldn't manage fiscal deficit. It should have been below 4%. The target was not achieved. So you have to achieve target of fiscal deficit. You have to ensure that Anaj is given to 80 crore people. You have to ensure that nothing goes up. You should ensure that inflation is not high, but you should also be capital surplus. CAD should not be negative. It should be positive. How is everything possible? It just doesn't add up.
Okay. Chirag, quick rebuttal, then Subhrashta.
Yes. See how it is possible is when you can go and waive off the taxes for the corporates, you can do it even for the people who are staying in India. 5% GST. 5% GST. Even now when they're saying sir, I did not speak in. The companies made a profit of 77,000 crores. In the last quarter of the last financial year, the profit was 20,000 crores. And now they are crying the companies are not making profits. They're losing money. Where is the loss? Why can't we see in the balance sheet? The financial experts can tell which petrol, diesel or LPG company is in losses. Any company you can name that is in losses in the last financial year. Any company.
The recovery is 1,000 crores per day, 700 to 1,000 crores per day. What are we talking here?
I mean, I don't think, Chirag Sethi, you are following what's happening with the oil marketing companies. I mean, because of the rise in crude prices, there are under recoveries, there are losses that the government has also spoken about. Subhrashta wants to come in, then Dr. Akashdeep Muni.
Yes. So basically what I heard from the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson is a very crucial point being overlooked in this entire conversation. LPG subsidy debate cannot be universalized. Not every LPG consumer in India is from a poor household. Now, today, LPG has become a near universal cooking fuel. I don't want to quote, Tom about the merits of Ujjwala Yojana, but we need to understand that LPG is not only used by economically vulnerable families, but also by a vast section of middle class and affluent households. Providing a blanket tax concession, as Chirag Sethi was saying, is basically saying that a family earning 10,000 rupees a month versus a family earning 10 lakh rupees a month should be extended the same benefit. I mean, this approach is neither equitable nor fiscally prudent, even in normal situations. Forget about talking about a situation like that we are facing right now. The purpose of welfare is not only to ensure essential goods. It is also to subsidize it is not to subsidize every unit of consumption indefinitely. This is something that anyway the opposition needs to understand. Also, I think modern welfare systems favor direct targeted support over blanket price distortions. This is linked to the conversation on international markets. And I'm sure, you have financial experts on the panel also to be able to talk about this more.
Dr. Akashdeep Muni. Isn't it also a fair point that the government did try to cushion the people of this country, in the beginning at least? Remember how initially the steps were taken so that the petrol and diesel prices do not go up. Right now also, if we look at about 11 odd crore beneficiaries of Ujjwala scheme, they will continue to get 4 cylinders under that subsidized quota per year. And if that's the average requirement, why should there be politics around it?
Heena ji, we all have to understand who are these Ujjwala Yojana beneficiaries. They are the people who did not have any connection, gas connection in their whole life. So these are for new consumers only. जो कभी gas connection के घर में था ही नहीं. And it started with 12 cylinders. Last year it was brought down from 12 cylinders to 9 cylinders. And this year you have brought down 9 to 4.
सवाल सीधा सा ये है आकाशदीप मुनि जी, अगर रिक्वायरमेंट 4 सिलेंडर की है, एक सेकेंड, अगर रिक्वायरमेंट 4 सिलेंडर की है साल की, तो 9 क्यों दे? क्योंकि सरकार का ये भी कहना है, जो हमारे पास खबर आई है उसमें ये भी कहा है कि जो एक्स्ट्रा सिलेंडर्स हैं उन्हें डाइवर्ट किया जा रहा है कमर्शियल यूज के लिए। कुछ अनस्क्रूपलस एलिमेंट्स इस तरह का काम भी कर रहे हैं। सो इस डाइवर्जन को चेक करने के लिए भी ये कदम उठाना बहुत जरूरी था।
देखिए, ये तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ना ये किस दुनिया में रहते हैं लोग, जब वो ये बोलते हैं कि ना कि आपने बीजेपी सरकार ने ये बोला था कि ना कि साल का 12 सिलेंडर जरूरी है। मैंने नहीं बोला था, बीजेपी सरकार ने बोला था, ताकि ना कि महिलाओं को धुआं से दूर रखा जा सके। आज वही 12 से 4 आप बोल रहे हो और बोल रहे हो 4 ओके। How is that? And one second.
Well, I don't really think you heard what Chirag Sethi had to say. At least he agreed to the fact that on an average the consumption has come down and requirement is of around 4 cylinders per annum. So that's why he agreed to that.
Because they can't buy. No, Heena, because they can't buy.
Okay.
They are only replacing the cylinder.
Quickly make the point that you wanted to make, Chirag Sethi. Then I'll go across to Kishore Subramanian for closing comments. Chirag Sethi.
Yes. So I'm saying 4.85 is because they cannot go for a refill every 2 months. The financial conditions of these people who are already BPL or low income groups, they cannot go and refill these cylinders so frequently. That is why
Is that a fair argument, Kishore Subramanian?
Yeah. See, I agree the fact that 10.5 crore people are BPL. वो agreed है. See, the average consumption of an upper middle class itself is 6 to 9 cylinders a year. So if you put a median number, that's 7.5. So if 4 is subsidized, we are short by about 3. Assuming that it is 2 to 3 cylinders short, this is something which everybody has to face. Remember what would have happened if the diesel prices went up by, but just hold on. If the diesel prices went up by 20 rupees, what would have happened? Your inflation would have gone up. सब्जी का दाम ऊपर जाता है, so सब्जी का दाम भी कम रखना पड़ेगा, गैस भी पूरा देना पड़ेगा, और वेस्ट एशिया का क्राइसिस जो ट्रम्प जी चला रहे उसके भी हमें संभालना पड़ेगा। वो नहीं होता है। You have to understand this is a crisis. Now you come back to COVID days. What happened? People didn't have income. Did we not survive 1.5 years? That's only because of the fiscal prudence of the government during bad times.
Right.
I believe this is a fair move.
Okay.
I know there will be an impact, but everybody has to bear the brunt.
I think we'll leave it there, and it's an important point you have made that it is a fiscally prudent move because it's not a regular situation that we are into. It is an unprecedented situation that India is facing, that world is facing because of what's happening in the West Asia crisis, and desperate times, they say, call for desperate measures. But we'll have to see what really happens next. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us here on this debate tonight.